My family forgot my baby shower and simply said, "We didn't think it was that important." I smiled, left the family group chat, and canceled all the payments I had been covering. The next day when they noticed, they asked, "You didn't invite anyone?" I asked, my voice trembling. Although I tried to sound normal, my sister Lucia laughed. "Oh, how sensitive you are," she said. "We didn't think it was that important." I stood in the middle of the kitchen, one hand on my belly, the other holding my phone, my breath caught between a laugh and a sob. 34 weeks pregnant, swollen feet, aching back, and I had spent the last month reminding them twice, 3 times, and each time it was, "We'll organize it," or "Don't worry, we've got you covered." Apparently not. I sent my gift list, I made the invitation, I even checked the dates with you twice. I said in a low voice, too calm. That calm that only comes when you've crossed an invisible line you didn't even know existed. My mother, Isabel, intervened from the background, as if that would make things better. "Honey, baby showers are more for the first child." "This is my first child," I said. Silence. Then my brother, Nicholas, wrote something in the family WhatsApp group. "Honestly, it's not a big deal, it's just a baby shower." Just a baby shower, as if I hadn't paid his car insurance for the last 2 years. As if I hadn't been helping my mother with her mortgage payments in silence every month so she wouldn't fall behind. As if I hadn't bought food for my sister when her fiancé left and took everything, as if I didn't matter. I looked at the screen, all the scene indicators under my last message. Then I did the only thing I could do. I smiled. I pressed the 3 dots next to the chat name and tapped Exit Group. 2 minutes later, I was logged into my bank account. Movistar payment canceled. Automatic transfer to mom's account deleted. Visum to Lucia for Sophia's flamenco classes rejected. I didn't make any announcements. I didn't write a long goodbye. I didn't give explanations. I simply stopped. And the next morning, when the Wi-Fi stopped working at my sister's apartment, when mom's phone plan was suddenly cut off, and when Netflix kicked Nicholas out in the middle of a movie, they panicked. I watched it unfold in real time while having tea on my balcony, my baby kicking softly under my ribs. And for the first time in years I felt peace. To understand how we got here, there's something you should know. I was always the responsible one, the reliable sister, the one with her life together. I got a job right out of college. I started saving early. I bought my own apartment at 29. Meanwhile, Nicholas was still sleeping at friends' houses trying to launch his podcast empire. And Lucia, my older sister, married young, divorced even younger, and never became self-sufficient again. Naturally, I became the support system silently without anyone asking me directly. Because that's how they trap you. It started subtly. "Can you cover mom's gas bill this month? Her pension arrived late." She's embarrassed to ask, but Lucia is behind on rent again. Sophia doesn't have proper shoes for flamenco class, and you know how talented she is. And each time I said yes, not because I had so much but because I thought they had so little. Or so I thought. They called me an angel, a rock, the glue of this family, and I believed them. I naively thought that was love. But over time the gratitude disappeared. It was replaced by expectation and then by demand. Lucia no longer said thank you. She just sent me a Bizum request for €85 with the concept Sophia's medicine or urgent purchase. Even though one day I saw her on Instagram showing off her gel manicure and toasting with mimosas at a brunch. Nicholas didn't even try to hide it. He once texted me, "Auntie, the rent is due, you take care of it." And I did. Meanwhile, my mother Isabel started saying things like, "You know, you're very lucky, honey. God gave you that job so you could help others." As if my success was meant to finance their failures. By the time I got pregnant, I had paid 11 consecutive months of Lucia's rent, Nicholas's phone, gym and Spotify account, Isabel's utility bills, Sophia's school trips, dance costumes, and even a €200 deposit for a camp. I stopped counting after 18,000. But when I announced my pregnancy, they smiled, of course. Congratulations. But something changed, as if wanting something for myself had altered the family ecosystem. I should have noticed it when no one offered to organize the baby shower. "We're all very busy," Lucia said. "Surely you'll do something simple, right?" Nicholas didn't even mention it. Isabel said, "Why don't you just post on Facebook instead of having a party?" I tried to take it easy. I bought pastel-colored decorations myself. I made a gift list on Amazon, mainly with affordable essentials. Diapers, bottles, a crib. I asked my friend Claire if I could have it at her house and she said yes. I sent the invitation to the family WhatsApp group. Not a single confirmation. Weeks went by, the date was approaching. I wrote to them delicately. "Hi, I just wanted to confirm if you saw the invitation." Lucia responded with an emoji. Nicholas left me on scene. Finally, Mom replied, "We'll see, that weekend is a bit complicated, honey." That weekend they were at Valeria's baby shower, my cousin's third child. Full buffet, matching outfits, balloons taller than her youngest son. The whole family was there, and I wasn't invited. I saw the photos on Instagram. Mom smiling next to Valeria's cake table. Lucia taking selfies. Nicholas posted a video of the party DJ with the caption "Family above all." That night I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I sat on the floor of my room, caressing the curve of my belly, and I realized something. It wasn't that they were simply absent, they were sending a message. A clear message that my baby didn't matter, that I didn't matter. And yet, they still expected me to pay. The day after the party, Lucia requested €180 from me Viaduct Bizum for Sophia's school project. Nicholas wrote, "Mom's phone is cut off again, can you fix it?" And that's when the real change happened in me. I didn't answer. I went into the family group and wrote a single sentence. "Thanks for making it clear where I stand." Then I left the group and began the silent demolition of the entire financial structure that supported them. What I didn't know was how loud the consequences would be. The next morning, Nicholas filled my phone with messages. "Auntie, what's going on? There's no Wi-Fi, Netflix isn't working either. You canceled Spotify." Then came Lucia. "Why is there no internet? Sophia has a virtual class today and she's upset. Fix this. You also canceled the Carrefour card, I had a full shopping cart. What's going on?" My mother, Isabel, called and left a voicemail with that disappointed teacher tone of hers. "Honey, this behavior is concerning. We're your family. You don't punish the people you love." I didn't answer. I didn't owe them any explanation. Let them stay in the silence. Let them feel the void I used to fill. That afternoon I sat on the sofa, a cup of hot tea in my hands, my baby kicking softly under my ribs, and I smiled. Because for the first time in years those who were desperate were them, and I was finally free of their strings. 2 days after leaving the family WhatsApp group, my phone rang. Mom, of course. "Tonight we're going to your house," she said sharply. "We all need to talk." She didn't say hello. She didn't say, "How are you feeling?" She didn't say, "Are you okay?" Just, "We need to talk." I could already hear the rehearsed speeches in her voice. They weren't coming to talk. They were coming to corner me. And for the first time in my life I was ready. At 6:40 p.m. they arrived like a hurricane. My mother walked in without even looking me in the eye. My sister Lucia threw her bag on the sofa as if it offended her. Nicholas arrived in his hoodie, pretending to be relaxed, but I could see the tension behind his haughty air. They didn't ask if they could sit down. They didn't ask how I was. They simply invaded my living room as if it still belonged to them. "Let's get to the point," Isabel said, crossing her arms. "This silence, canceling payments, it's childish. Frankly, we're all in shock." "In shock?" I asked, raising an eyebrow. "Are you surprised that I stopped paying for everything?" Nicholas leaned forward, annoyed. "Auntie, seriously, there's no Wi-Fi, Netflix isn't loading. My gym app says I'm suspended. So, you canceled everything on purpose." "On purpose?" I smiled coldly. "Yes, Nicholas, that was the idea." Lucia snorted. "Oh, you're still on about the baby shower. It was just a party. Get over it." I stood up slowly, one hand on my belly. "You're right. It's not about the party. It's about the fact that I'm 34 weeks pregnant and my entire family decided I wasn't worth showing up for. None of you even confirmed attendance." My mother raised her hand like a judge calling for silence in a courtroom. "We didn't do it with bad intentions. We just thought that baby showers are more for first babies." "This is my first baby," I said firmly. "Now, and you all knew it." No one said a word. "You didn't forget," I continued. "You made a decision. You all went to Valeria's party last weekend, balloons, buffet, matching outfits, and you decided to ignore mine. And 2 days later, Lucia requests €180 from me Viaduct Bizum, and Nicholas asks me to fix Mom's phone bill." My sister rolled her eyes. "Oh, please don't play the victim. You've always been the generous one. Now what, do you want a medal for helping? That was the limit. I laughed, but it wasn't a kind laugh. It was the kind that comes out when you've broken so much that there's no way to put yourself back together. Okay, let's talk about that generosity. Let's talk about how I paid your rent for 11 consecutive months, Lucia. How I covered Sophia's flamenco classes, school supplies, summer camp, while you posted your €60 gel nails and endless mimosa brunches on Instagram. Lucia blushed, but she didn't say anything. And you, Nicholas? I turned to him. I've paid for your phone, your gym, your Spotify account, your Cabify rides, and much more. You once texted me, "Auntie, the rent is due, take care of it." As if I were your assistant, not your sister. Isabel intervened, raising her voice. You're exaggerating all of this. We're your family, we thought we could rely on you. I responded coldly. You thought you could use me, and you did for years. Nicholas let out a sarcastic laugh. Auntie, now what? Do you want a standing ovation? You made your money, you helped, good for you. That doesn't make you better than us. I leaned forward slightly. No, Nicholas, it doesn't make me better. It makes me exhausted. It makes me fed up because I've broken my back for this family. And the first time I needed something, just a small gesture of affection, you couldn't even pretend to care. Lucia stood up, hands on her hips. Oh, please, how dramatic you are. Do you want us to cry now? Throw you a pity party? Grow up. And then, unexpectedly, someone else spoke from the corner of the room. My cousin Irene, who had been quiet the whole time, stood up. I was on your side, she said, her voice trembling. But this is disgusting. You all act as if she's an ATM, and then treat her like trash when she sets a limit. Everyone turned to her in surprise. Irene, don't interfere, Isabel snapped. No, Irene replied. I will interfere, because I see how you treat her. And I don't want to be part of a family that punishes someone for having the courage to stand up for themselves. And without saying another word, Irene grabbed her bag and left. The room was left in stunned silence. Then Mom turned to me, her face tense between guilt and anger. Think about your baby. She needs a real family. Are you going to raise her alone without us? I looked her straight in the eye. Better alone than surrounded by people who only love me when I'm useful to them. That night they left my apartment like a funeral procession. No one slammed a door. No one shouted. The storm had passed, but the debris was everywhere. Nicholas muttered something under his breath as he left. Probably another insult, but I didn't hear it. Lucia didn't even look at me. And Mom stopped at the threshold. Her hand brushed the door frame as if she wanted to say something, but she didn't. She left and I closed the door behind them. Not gently anymore. That night I stayed in the kitchen with the lights off, holding a cup of hot tea against my belly. My baby turned and then calmed down. The silence in the room felt like oxygen, like freedom. For the first time in years I didn't feel guilty. Not for saying no. Not for walking away. Not for being selfish, because I wasn't. What came in the following days was chaos, but it wasn't mine anymore. Day 1, silence. No messages, no calls. The family WhatsApp group remained without me. Nicholas posted a passive-aggressive story on Instagram. When people turn their backs on blood, don't be surprised if they drown alone. Lucia shared it with 3 broken heart emojis. I didn't react. They wanted attention, they wouldn't get mine. Day 3, the guilt phase begins. Mom wrote first. Can we talk, please? I didn't answer. We didn't realize how much all this hurt you. But that doesn't mean you have to push us all away. Nothing. Silence. Then came her 3rd message. The bills are piling up. Your sister can't pay for Sophia's school trip. Nicholas might lose his gym membership. I almost laughed. My silence was expensive and they were finally starting to notice. Day 5. Panic mode. Lucia called 5 times in an hour. When I didn't answer, she left a voicemail. Her voice was trembling, but not with regret. It was rage. You made your point, okay? Are you happy now? Sophia is devastated. Mom cries every night. Nicholas yells at everyone. You broke the family over a stupid party. I listened to the entire message and then deleted it without saying a word. That same night I received a message that paralyzed me mid-bite during dinner. Irene. Just wanted you to know I moved out of my parents' house. I realized how toxic everything was after what I saw at your apartment. Thanks for standing up. You helped me see clearly. I stared at the screen, my throat tight. One by one, everything was falling apart. And somehow, I was finally starting to put myself back together. Day 7. Unexpected visit. David, Lucia's ex, Sophia's father. We hadn't spoken in months, but there he was at my door with a box of baby clothes. I found out, he said simply. Sophia told me everything. It's not right. He paused. You were the only one who really cared about her future. So this is from me and her. She chose the onesies. I bit my lip, tears threatened, but I held them back. Thank you, I whispered. David looked at me for a long moment, and then said something I didn't expect. You know, if you ever need anything, really, I'm here. Lucia's not okay. She's losing control. She lost her job last week. She blamed HR. But I think deep down she knows it's not them, it's her. I didn't say anything. I didn't feel joy or revenge. I felt liberation. They were finally facing the consequences, and I didn't have to lift a finger. 2 weeks later, collapse. Mom called again. I let it ring. Then she left a voicemail. Your brother is behind on rent. Lucia's car was towed. We haven't been able to enroll Sophia in her dance festival. I don't know what to do anymore. She paused. Please just tell me what we did so wrong. Why are you doing this to us? I listened carefully, and when she finished I played it again and then I deleted it. Because I wasn't doing anything to them. They did it to themselves. That same week, I received a card in the mail with no return address. Inside was a note in clumsy handwriting. I miss you. Mom says you're mad forever. But I remember the pancakes and when you came to my school play. I hope the baby is good. Love, Sophia. I sat on the floor with that card pressed against my chest, and I cried harder than I had in all these past months. Not because I regretted my decision, but because Sophia was the only innocent one in this whole story. The final blow, Lucia's breakdown. 3 weeks after the confrontation, I received a message from an unknown number. It was Lucia. Her tone was different, soft, almost broken. I messed up. I ruined everything. And you were the only one who really helped. I know I said unforgivable things, but I'm sorry. There was no manipulation, no blame, just sincerity. But it was too late. I didn't answer because I finally understood. Forgiveness is not an obligation, especially when the wounds are still open. In the weeks that followed, my world began to feel lighter. That gift list where only 2 items had been claimed suddenly started receiving anonymous gifts. Diapers, onesies, a new baby monitor. My friend Clara organized a belated baby shower for me with only 6 people. And it was perfect. No fake smiles, no judgments. Just people who were really there. And I felt human again. Not a bank, not a safety net, not an invisible daughter. Just me, future mother, complete in my own way. It's been 8 weeks since the night I walked away from my family's life. Or rather, it's been 8 weeks since I walked away from the role they assigned me. The bank, the savior, the emotional punching bag. And here's the twist no one expected. I'm not falling apart, I'm flourishing. Now I wake up without that weight in my chest, without guilt-ridden messages, without mental spreadsheets about who needs what, without that silent panic of whether I'll have enough for diapers and someone else's internet bill. It's just me, my belly, and a peace I never imagined knowing. It's funny, actually, living in silence after years of obligation. For a while I waited for the guilt to arrive, you know, that little voice that whispers, maybe you were too harsh, maybe you could have handled it better. But it never came because the truth is I handled it perfectly. I told the truth, I set the limit, and I watched as they proved why that limit had to exist. Lucia still tries from time to time. Sometimes she sends me vague messages like, I hope you're okay, or Sophia misses you. But I don't answer. I don't punish her, I don't block her. I simply don't participate because I've learned something they never wanted me to know. Not responding is also a response. Silence is power. Setting boundaries is not cruelty, it's survival. Nicholas has fully embraced the victim role on social media. Last week he made a whole thread about fake family and how money changes people. He got 2 likes, one from Lucia, one from Mom. I didn't laugh. I pitied him. That's the most terrifying mirror he's ever stood in front of. My mother gave up completely. She finally understood that I wasn't coming back. Not to the WhatsApp group, not to their table, not to that unwritten contract where I owed them everything just for being born. Funny, isn't it? They raised me to believe that I was the selfish one, but when the money stopped, so did their version of love. Makes you think. I've started building my own version of family. Clara, my best friend, comes twice a week to help me with the baby's room. Yes, Irene texts me every day just to see how I'm doing. She sends me memes, name ideas, and reminders to drink water. David brought Sophia's favorite stuffed animal, just in case the baby likes it too. He said it was Sophia's idea, and I believe him. And I'm still me, but more complete, more honest, more mine. The other night, I stood in the middle of the baby's room. The crib was assembled, the mobile slowly turned, soft clouds and sleeping moons. The warm golden light. And for the first time in my entire life, I felt something wild. I felt safe. Not because someone promised to protect me, not because I had backup, but because I had myself. I've gone through the fire. I've been told I'm too much, too harsh, too cold. I've been used, blamed, erased. And I survived. And the best part? I stopped apologizing for it. If my daughter ever asks me about my family, I'll tell her the truth. That blood isn't always love. That boundless kindness becomes self-destruction. That being the strong one doesn't mean being the sacrificial lamb. And I'll also tell her this. You're never obligated to set yourself on fire just to keep others warm. You're not responsible for the comfort of others at your own expense. You have the right to say no even to those who raised you. I'll raise her with a spine and a heart. With compassion but without submission. With warmth but not servitude. Because if there's one legacy I want to leave her, it's this. Never be afraid to choose yourself, even if it means being alone. I used to think that walking away would make me the villain they would tell stories about, how I abandoned them. And maybe they have. Let them. Because if choosing peace, protecting my daughter, and breaking generational patterns makes me the villain of their story, then maybe I was never meant to be the hero.